All right, so we are going to try this again. Today is day number 3 of my challenge, and it is Entrepreneur Pitfall number 3. Entrepreneur Pitfall number 3 is you talk too much. WTMI, way too much information. So I decided I'd talk to you guys a little bit and tell you the reasons why I think entrepreneurs do too much talking. And then I'll also give you some tips on the things that I think that you can do to stop yourself. So just like everything else, whatever I'm going to talk about today is either something that I've been through or something that has impacted me. And if you know me, you know that I tend to talk too much about my ideas. So I wanted to make sure that I warn people about how talking too much about your business and your ideas and what you're capable of can be a negative as opposed to a positive. So, reason number 1 that people may talk too much as entrepreneurs is because they're looking for validation. A lot of times you spend a lot of time on your idea. You thinking to yourself, or you're by yourself when you're putting things together or you're planning, and you really just want to bounce that idea off of someone else to see if it's a viable idea or to see if it has the potential to be successful. And that's great, but sometimes entrepreneurs tend to tell people too much. They give too much of their secret sauce or too much of their idea. Another reason why entrepreneurs may talk too much is also because they may just be nervous, especially in networking scenarios. People tend to get nervous and they talk, it's nervous talk. Maybe they're not really sure how to present themselves, or they don't have a lot of confidence, or they're not really sure what information they should give, so they just ramble on. The next thing is going to be, and this kind of works in the scenario when being in networking events as well, is that people are just uncomfortable with long periods of silence. So they're not really sure what it is that they should say, and in order to not be uncomfortable, they insert conversation where a silence is. That happens a lot, very specifically like in interviews, or when a person's going to do a sales pitch, or if a person is going to go talk with a loan officer, or if they're going to go talk with investors. Sometimes entrepreneurs tend to fill up the silence with rambling. And a lot of times they can actually talk themselves out of getting a business loan, or even talk themselves out of an investor, because they give way too much information, like information that the investor doesn't need to know, or information that the banker doesn't need to know. The last item would be talking too much because you think that you are going to talk yourself into a client or a job, and you end up giving away everything. So my example was, I had that example happen recently where I went to go meet with a client, and I literally gave them a full analysis of what I thought of their business, what I thought they could do better, and I even started giving them solutions in the preliminary meeting. And the truth of the matter is that if you give away too much information, now people don't really need you. So what's the point of paying you if you already gave them the game plan? And then a lot of times people feel like they can do it themselves. So you want to make sure that you try to rein back on the amount of information that you provide people in the beginning. And sometimes you may just want to be vague intentionally. So that brings me to some tips on what you can do to stop talking so much. Some of these tips came from friends. One of them even came from my mom. Some of them I used from the training world. So here they go. Tip number 1 is ask open-ended questions. So if you're in a situation where you are talking with people, or you're engaging with other people, instead of you doing all the talking, even if it's a consulting situation, or even if it's a situation where you're asking someone for their opinion, don't do a lot of talking. Ask open-ended questions, and then listen to what it is that they have to say, and then take notes. You don't have to take physical notes, but you can definitely take mental notes. And the next thing would be to listen more and talk less. So as opposed to being so worried about engaging in conversation and providing them with information, making people feel like you're smart, or making them or wanting people to know that you know a lot about your industry, instead listen to what it is that they have to say, because you may actually learn some things that may help you with what your idea is. the next tip would be to remember that there are just some people in the world that are not in your corner. They don't have the best intentions. But the other thing is they may have way more money than you do. They may have time, and they are also opportunists. So they may take your idea and capitalize on it before you even have a chance to see it to fruition. I've actually seen that happen to a couple of my friends where they've been on the phone talking to somebody one evening, and then the next day that person was actually rolling out their idea, and they had no idea. They actually trusted that person. They thought, well, hey, it's a conversation, we're having business, and it's a business courtesy, but and that person actually rolled out that business or rolled out that particular idea without even consulting the person that they had been talking to the day before. So just be careful. The next thing I say is, I know that it's hard when you are a business owner because you're isolated a lot, and a lot of times people don't necessarily understand what you're going through in the journey of being an entrepreneur. But what I would suggest that you guys do is find a business buddy. Find someone that you trust implicitly, that you know you can give information to and you can share with. I have the luxury of having two awesome business buddies, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out. Hey, Nicole Dean Simmons, and hello, Maya Carroll. Those two ladies are absolutely wonderful, and I know that I can pick up the phone and call them at any time and have a confidential conversation with them and tell them about my ideas, and they can do the same with me as well. So just having a business buddy, you also have the opportunity to, if you don't have a business buddy, the other thing you can do is you can just keep a journal. Write down anything that you're thinking about. Sometimes you just have to get it out of you, so getting it out of you can also consist of writing it. Or you could record a video blog, but keep it private. Don't post it out on YouTube. Record them, but then make them private. And then once you reach your goal, you actually have a video blog that will tell everything that you've done, and you can kind of turn that into a how-to series. You have the opportunity to make it a book, or you can even make it a journal, and that might be something that you could sell, turn into a seminar. There I go talking too much because I just gave you guys that nugget for free. But then the next thing that you can do is you can talk to a professional. There's two different types of professionals. You can talk to a paid professional who is responsible for keeping your confidence, and you can talk with them about your business idea or what it is that you want to do, and they can tell you if it's viable. They can tell you if it can be developed. Or the other thing is you can just get a mentor. The SCORE program is really good for mentorship. You can also go to the SBA. There are a lot of people out there that are legitimate, that will be good mentors to you. We're going to have a pitfall about mentors coming up really soon. But the point that I'm making is that you can get a professional to help you. Another thing is, if you know that you have a select few people that you'd like to talk to about your idea because you're interested in seeing if they would like to invest, or maybe you're doing a focus group because you want to find out whether or not it's something that the market would be interested in, you always have the option of doing a non-disclosure agreement. And if you guys need some help with that, at Velvet Rope Experience, we do non-disclosure agreements, and we customize them for you and your business and whatever your topic is or whatever your idea is. So that wraps up the things that you can do to stop talking so much, or to at least protect yourself. Remember that if you guys are into the 48 Laws of Power, 48 Laws of Power, number 4 is always say less than is necessary. So with that being said, until next time, shut up and stop talking so darn much. But before you stop talking and before you stop watching this video, please comment, follow, like, share, and subscribe. Click the subscribe button down at the bottom. I think it's red and it says subscribe. And then I am trying to get to 100 subscribers. I have a purpose. As an entrepreneur, you should have goals. My purpose is I need 100 subscribers in order to get a customized YouTube URL. So I'm at 50. I'm halfway there. I'm looking at you guys to help me out. If you enjoy the information that I'm giving you, because all this stuff comes from a tormented place, because being an entrepreneur is very difficult. It's a hard journey, but I want to be candid and transparent with you guys and talk to you a little bit about the pitfalls that you have. Don't forget to like us on Twitter. Also like us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter at 713 Velvet Rope or at Velvet Rope EXP. We're also on Instagram under Velvet Rope Experience and on Facebook at Velvet Rope Experience. So thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch this video, and have a good one until the next time.